took, let's talk about how to review and conclude your lesson. So, number one, you can play a great old game of charades, which is a guessing game. This works really well if you've got nouns and verbs, because they're really easy to kind of use your body language to be able to show that off. Pictionary, draw the picture on the board and then your friends guess what the answer is. Claymation, so using Play-Doh or some not clay, using Play-Doh because it's squishy and it won't dry out. Students can show you a version of the word and then you have to guess that. I think this is by far the hardest, but it's also the funnest, trying to guess what somebody has made. And then you can combine all of the above by using a dice. So when students roll a number 2, for example, they have to do charades. Maybe if you do 2 and 4 is charades, or 1 and 3 is Pictionary, and and 6 and whichever number. 6 and 5 is claymation. It gives it a little bit of like, you don't know what you're going to get, and so it makes it more exciting. So that's it. Bingo. You can always play a good old game of bingo, and there are different types of variations of bingo, so get into that, look into that. You play memory games. Again, I've told you about memory games online. I think there's some memory games that you can play. This is a matching card game, nice and easy, that you can do. Let's continue. And then one of my favorite ways, this actually gives you lots of information, exit tickets or exit slips. So what are they? You can do a lot more reading on here, but these are responses that your students can give to you to tell you what they've learned about the lesson, how they're feeling about the topic, if there's any other things that you want that they want to learn, or that they feel like they still haven't gotten the hang of yet, what they thought of your teaching. So you can write just 1 or 2 questions, or 3 or 4, however many, and have your students fill them out and then give them back to you, or have them fill them out and bring it to the class the next lesson. Probably because students won't bring stuff back that easily, you might want to collect the slips before they leave. Now, if you don't want to collect the slips, you can also use an online version as well, which you can make it easily. For your EFL students, you can, I think, going down the line of making emoji slips. So they tell you how they're feeling by maybe clicking on a face or clicking on a picture to kind of communicate what they're feeling, might be a good way. Or you can kind of give maybe the lower levels emoji slips, whereas the higher levels you can ask them, to write down a sentence. Up to you what you want to do, but it's a great way to find out how your students are feeling about the lesson, what stuff you need to cover some more, and it gives you constant information about how you can help your students. Online quizzes. There are plenty of websites that help you build great quizzes. For example, Kahoot is really great, especially if you have a class that is under 20 students. The free version of Kahoot is fantastic. It always gets a good reaction from everybody, and you can create your own quizzes or try and see if there's ones out there that you can already use. Quizlet, I'm not as familiar with Quizlet as I am with Kahoot, but again, it's a website that everyone recommends. Plickers is really good if you don't have access to a computer in the classroom. You can print out these cards that have kind of like a QR code image, and the students tell you their answer, and then you scan it, and then you basically get their response. Quizzes, I've used quizzes a lot. I like their they like to use a lot of GIFs, and the way that it's made is very interactive and fun and stuff like that. Flip quiz, I have not used this, but this turns your quiz into a Jeopardy-like game, which is again another popular game that people love to play and use. So there you go. Use online quizzes, and I think online quizzes, the more often you use them, the better it is, because it will give you immediate data. It's something that you don't necessarily have to grade, because the information will be there for you to look into. Like Kahoot will tell you how well the students did, which questions they did well on and which questions they didn't. Google Forms is also very good for that as well. And so it's like immediate information that you can then use to see, all right, are the students getting this topic? Are they not getting this topic? Do you think they're ready to advance onto the next thing you want to teach them, or do you need to take more time? All of that is really good. With the other activities, you kind of will be doing it by your own observation. So you can keep notes, obviously, you can watch how your students are dealing with each word and everything like that. So these are really good, playing as a whole classroom at the end of the class. But if you want some data, I think online quizzes as well as exit tickets are the way to go. So that was all about how to finish off the class with reviews. In terms of conclusions, keep it simple. Most importantly, make sure that you are complimenting your students and rewarding them. So I've shared before, Class Dojo is the way for me to go. I love using Class Dojo. I don't know why it's not logging in. I love using Class Dojo to be able to reward my students. So at the end of the class, spend some time kind of picking out students that did really well. I have this superstar point. So for any student that really stood out to me, that worked well or presented or like did really exceptional work, I made sure to make a point of choosing somebody. It encourages everybody else to work hard, and everybody wants to give their all because they also want that point as well. So spend time kind of encouraging your students, complimenting them, and give any homework or tell them what they'll learn in the next class, or if they need to bring in anything or set any reminders, and then end things off there. So there are lots of steps to get through, and sometimes it might feel a bit overwhelming. At the beginning, yes, I think it will, but over time, you're going to get so good at it, and you'll also choose what works well for you and what works best for your students. But I hope these ideas are something to help you get started. So happy learning, happy teaching, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.